And here's the finished track. Hey everyone, welcome back to Thermal Noise Productions. I'm Alex, and today we're taking a recorded instrumental metalcore track written by our friend Jeremiah, and we're going to go over some post-production approaches that turn it from a track song into something that feels record ready. All right, so post-production is all about reinforcing the music that's already there. So let's start with the verse and listen to this before any production is added to it. So this is already in a cool spot. However, let's see how we can make this more interesting and how we can accent this riff. All right, guys. So for this particular riff, it's pretty upbeat. The snare's on the 2, and it's a driving riff. So I wanted the post-production to be tucked in the background a little bit to support it rather than overtake it. There are a lot of shaker percussion elements and a lot of synths that are backfilling the melody from the guitar. And we have this pad here too that also has this rhythmic tremolo effect. I really wanted a pad to be a texture behind this riff. So let's hear that isolated really quick. And I actually took this pad. I believe that this is an Anna 2. Yeah. So I took the first measure of this synth print and I just reversed it. So I took it back, reversed the sample itself, and then I'm just fading it into the song. And I believe that's what's down here. And it's just some ear candy to segue into the riff itself. We added some percussion as well, and it's just your normal shaker just to backfill the drums a little bit. I also found this Evolve patch that has some other weird stuff going on. It's in the same tempo and the same grid, but it has some weird characteristics to it. It almost sounds like there's a formant filter or something on it. Evolve is known to have pretty odd sounding instruments. That's pretty much all that's going on in this first section. However, when this riff goes to halftime, I did incorporate a few more elements here. Let's listen to this Substance synth bass here. I do want to mention this sub bass is doing what the MIDI bass is not doing. So this is backfilling more low end. It's giving a little more punch to the riff. Let's actually hear that with the drums. And let's listen to it with this Substance bass patch on it. So now I'm going to go into this bit of production that's doing the opposite thing, where instead of the downbeat, it's filling all of the melodic stuff that the guitar's doing. So this is it soloed, and then I'm going to play it with the guitars as well. I actually went in and did some pitch modulation stuff to this printed synth texture as well. I often find that the transpose tool here in Cubase is my best friend. It's a really quick way to add a lot of dynamics to your productions. So I've got the substance bass going. I have this drifting synth that's got some panning stuff going with this Brower Motion plugin. I have this texture pad synth going on. I've got a cymbal bass drop. I've got extra additional percussion down here. So let's hear all of that together. Really quick too, I want to go over how I go about modulating synth patches and stuff, because it's already cool inside of Anna, but fitting the synth to fit your song makes it that much more interesting to hear. I'm going to solo this part. And again, that's accenting our guitar part here. But this patch in particular, in my opinion, has too much of a reverb tail on it. So I'm just going to render it in place. I'm essentially only going to use the information that I see on my MIDI track above. So I'm going to get rid of all this other stuff here. So this is going to be really precise. It should fit in with our riff a little bit better. And when you're doing this, you just need to make sure that all of your fades and everything are faded in and out properly, or else you'll get clicks and pops like I do all the time. It's not fun because you'll end up going back and re-editing stuff and trying to get those annoying clicks and pops out of your tracks. So let's hear that. So on their own, they sound simple, but once they're in the mix, the entire section feels more finished. One other thing to note, transitions can also play a huge role into your post-production. So I'm actually going to solo these swells and impacts in this song. So using impacts and transitions and swells, it can give you that cinematic feel and that cohesion in your song that might otherwise feel a little stiff or stagnant. I'm going to play these swell production parts on top of this so you guys can hear that. So now with all the post-production elements in place, the song has more depth and more movement to it. When Jeremiah and Johnny showed me this song, they did have a fade out at the end. Instead of just your normal fade out, I wanted to do something a little extra to it. So I do have this Infiltrator plugin doing some weird modulation stuff. It's this preset called Uber Phase. I mean, it sounds like flangers and phasers kind of going crazy. It's fading out with that plugin, and the volume is fading out as well. So let's just hear that. So adding this Infiltrator plugin and automating the mix knob up with that preset gives it a little extra something that it didn't have from just a regular stereotypical fade out. And it's small stuff like this that makes a pretty big difference. If your instrumental metal tracks sound finished but don't feel professional, post-production is probably what you're missing. Focus on filling space, creating depth, and adding movement instead of rewriting parts. Use synths and ambience tools you already own to support the music. If this was helpful, hit like and subscribe, and leave a comment letting us know how you approach ambience and synths in your own productions. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you in the next Thermal Noise production.